Hello, people. Finished a book. Finished it last week, actually. It's written by Carl Sagan, called The Demon Haunted World, subtitled Science as a Candle in the Dark. It's a pretty good book. There was some slow spots. My notes here. The book was published in 1996. And I'm not sure if that's correct, if this was a later edition or what, but because I Googled to see when Carl Sagan had passed away, and the information that Google gave me was that he died in 1996. I don't know anything about it. I didn't really research it. Maybe he died rather suddenly. I don't know. It was a really good book. I've read more by Carl Sagan. He's a very good author. 1996, 434 pages. First, I'm going to talk about this bookmark that I used here, because there was a bookmark in it. I don't think I ever started the book. The bookmark was like halfway in there. But the bookmark is a receipt from Little Professor Bookstore. It used to be in Dearborn, Michigan, where I grew up. It was on Michigan Avenue. And it was a wonderful little bookstore. The kind of bookstores that, it just independently owned, and you don't really see them anymore. I remember this about the place is in the back, they had a whole shelf that was nothing but newspapers from all across the country, so you could go and, read the Dallas Star, whatever, It was pretty cool. It was a cool place. And Dearborn, Michigan, it's a very nice town, but they just fucked things up. And first they put, first all of a sudden you had to pay to park, and everybody was parking across the street and walking over there, and I don't know, Little Professor just got fucking sick of it and said, fuck you, we're closing down. All right. Bottom of page 9. This is going to be probably a long video because there was so many things in here that I could have marked. This book really is a blueprint for how to look at things in life. It's a warning. It's a blueprint. I don't know what Carl Sagan would have made of QAnon or this bullshit about the election being stolen. It's a blueprint for how to avoid bullshit like that. That's the only way I can put it. I think some people are born with that type of it's genetically inscribed, where you're just skeptical of things that seem stupid anyway, and some people are born being a little bit more gullible. They enjoy being gullible. I don't know what it is. The bottom of page 9 and top of page 10. We can pray over the cholera victim, or we can give her 500 milligrams of tetracycline every 12 hours. This is in parentheses, there is still a religion, Christian Science, that denies the germ theory of disease. If prayer fails, the faithful would rather see their children die than give them antibiotics. We can try nearly futile psychoanalytic talk therapy on the schizophrenic patient, or we can give him 300 to 500 milligrams a day of clozapine. The scientific treatments are hundreds or thousands of times more effective than the alternatives. And even when the alternatives seem to work, we don't actually know that they played any role. Spontaneous remissions, even of cholera and schizophrenia, can occur without prayer and without psychoanalysts. Abandoning science means abandoning much more than air conditioning, CD players, hair dryers, and fast cars. My next note says quotes. All the chapters start with quotes from people, and some of them are pretty cool. They quote a lot of people in this book. The footnote on page 71. There are so many artificial satellites up there that they're always making garish displays somewhere in the world. 2 or 3 decay every day in the Earth's atmosphere, the flaming debris often visible to the naked eye. A lot of the book is in regards to UFOs. And Carl Sagan would like very much to believe in UFOs, but he takes the position that UFOs, even the ones that the Air Force sees, are probably something man-made. And he was actually in charge of a lot of things. You know, he was involved in SETI and all kinds of stuff. Footnote on 104, UFOs. I mean, the UFO section is huge in here. This is about people hallucinating. And it all goes back to, you know, Occam's or Occam's razor. You know, what description is more logical? What description of an event is something that assumes the least? And it's about people hallucinating. Dreams are associated with a state called REM sleep. We all know that. The abbreviation standing for rapid eye movement. Under the closed eyelids, the eyes move, perhaps following the action in the dream, or perhaps randomly. The REM state is strongly correlated with sexual arousal. Experiments have been performed in which sleeping subjects are awakened whenever the REM state emerges, while members of a control group are awakened just as often each night, but not when they're dreaming. After some days, the control group is a little groggy, but the experimental group, the ones who are prevented from dreaming, is hallucinating in daytime. It's not that a few people with a particular abnormality can be made to hallucinate in this way. Anyone is capable of hallucinations. Last paragraph, 119. Oh, this is an awful long paragraph. This is about witches and demons and you know, fucking people. Some of the statistics that he gives in this book about what Americans believe in is just make the hair on your head stand up. The Pope appointed Kramer and Springer to write a comprehensive analysis using the full academic armory of the late 15th century, with exhaustive citations of scripture and of ancient and modern scholars. They produced the Malleus Maleficarum, the Hammer of the Witches, aptly described as one of the most terrifying documents in human history. Thomas Adey, in A Candle in the Dark, condemned it as villainous doctrines and inventions, horrible lies and impossibilities, serving to hide their unparalleled cruelty from the ears of the world. What the Malleus comes down to, pretty much, is that if you're accused of witchcraft, you're a witch. Torture is an unfailing means to demonstrate the validity of the accusation. There are no rights of the defendant. There is no opportunity to confront the accusers. Little attention is given to the possibility that accusations might be made for impious purposes, jealousy, say, or revenge, or the greed of the inquisitors who routinely confiscated for their own private benefit the property of the accused. This technical manual for torturers also includes methods of punishment tailored to release demons from the victim's body before the process kills her. The Malleus in hand, the Pope's encouragement guaranteed, inquisitors began springing up all over Europe. And then I have QAnon written here, but we already talked about QAnon a little bit. Page 216. I'm actually getting bit by, I'm still down in Florida, and I'm getting bit by no-see-ums while I'm doing this video. This is at the very end of a paragraph, and it says, Talleyrand said, an important art of politicians is to find new names for institutions which under old names have become odious to the public. Anybody that quotes Talleyrand is all right with me. Most people don't even know who Talleyrand is. Page 253. I gotta find this too. This is just about some kind of event in England where learned people are attending, and Edward Gibbon is there, and Benjamin Franklin is also there. Edward Gibbon would not meet with Benjamin Franklin when they found themselves at the same English country inn because of the late unpleasantness of the American Revolution. I just thought that was funny. Gibbon is a fucking genius, and so was Franklin in his way. 357, second and third paragraph. I'm already on another book, and I'm just about halfway done with that other book. Where is it here? For 99% of the tenure of humans on Earth, nobody could read or write. The great invention had not yet been made. Except for first-hand experience, almost everything we knew was passed on by word of mouth. As in the children's game telephone, over tens of hundreds of generations, information would slowly be distorted and lost. Books changed all that. Books, purchasable at low cost, permit us to interrogate the past with high accuracy, to tap the wisdom of our species, to understand the point of view of others, and not just those in power, to contemplate with the best teachers the insights painfully extracted from nature of the greatest minds that ever were, drawn from the entire planet and from all our history. They allow people long dead to talk inside our heads. Books can accompany us everywhere. Books are patient where we are slow to understand, allow us to go over the hard parts as many times as we wish, and are never critical of our lapses. Books are key to understanding the world and participating in a democratic society. And let me just add to that you better be goddamn careful about what books you're reading, and that's one of the reasons why I read and I continue to read, and I'll probably read till the day I die. Quotes on 380. And that must be 380, yeah. This is Ronald Reagan in a campaign speech in 1980. Why should we subsidize intellectual curiosity? It's probably him making a case for withholding money from science or whatever. And this is George Washington in an address to Congress in 1790. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. So you can see the change, knowledge is not cool anymore in this country. And here's the last one, 406. There was so much in this book. I highly recommend this book. Third paragraph. Those who seek power at any price detect a societal weakness, a fear that they can ride into office. It could be ethnic differences, as it was then, perhaps different amounts of melanin in the skin, different philosophies or religions, or maybe it's drug use, violent crime, economic crisis, school prayer, or desecrating the flag. So, does that remind you of anybody? If people would read shit like that book and take it to heart, we might not have some of the stupidness that's going on in this country now, still going on in this country now, and going to get worse. Thanks for watching.